Let's go Dolphins! The stakes have never been higher in Miami. With every fan dreaming of that long-awaited Super Bowl run, the pressure is mounting inside the walls of the Dolphins facility. We're not just talking about hype anymore, there are real advantages on the table this season. But while Mike McDaniel sharpens his playbook, one name continues to weigh the team down like an anchor: Chris Grier. Let's be honest, he should have been fired a long time ago. And yet, here we are again, hoping his roster decisions don't sabotage another promising year. But hey, before we get into all the drama and break down the path that could finally take us to the postseason, make sure you've already smashed that like button, only if you're a true fan of the Miami Dolphins. And if you've been bleeding aqua and orange for more than 2 decades, show your pride in the comments with *Go Dolphins. Meu coração sangra aqua y laranja. *. Let's dive into it. Now let's get into the real talk. The 2025 NFL schedule has officially dropped, and I've been doing some serious digging into what it really means for the Dolphins. I'm telling you right now, based on everything I've looked at, the Dolphins might have just hit the jackpot. They've been handed one of the most favorable schedules in the league. I know, that sounds crazy after an ugly 8-9 season. But stay with me here, because the numbers back it up. Let's talk about the biggest hidden advantage: net rest days. This is where things get interesting. Miami comes in second in the entire NFL in net rest differential with plus 11 days, right behind the Lions. That means, across the season, the Dolphins have 11 more days of rest than their opponents. This stuff matters. Teams that are better rested tend to play better, avoid injuries, and come in with sharper game plans. Over the past decade, teams with those mini-bye weeks, where they play Thursday night and then don't play again until the following Sunday, have averaged plus 0.48 points per game. It may seem small, but that edge adds up over a 17-game grind. Miami doesn't just have one of those mini-buys. They've got 2. Week 3 against Buffalo and Week 9 against Baltimore. Tough games? No doubt. But the payoff comes the week after, when they'll have more days than their next opponent to rest and prepare. Week 4 they'll be fresher for the Jets, and Week 10 they'll be ready to throw everything they've got at Buffalo again. That's not all. Week 13, they face the Saints coming off a full 7-day rest advantage, thanks to their bye in Week 12, while New Orleans plays straight through. That's a big-time advantage at home against the struggling Saints squad. Now, while we're talking rest, let's also recognize that last season Miami was at a massive disadvantage in this area, **-8 in net rest days **. Ranking is the 8th worst in the NFL. Combine that with Tua missing 6 games and being forced to rely on Tyler Huntley, Skylar Thompson, and Tim Boyle. And it's no wonder the team imploded despite having the easiest schedule based on opponents' win percentages. That brings us to a crucial shift this year. The NFL schedule makers must have seen what happened and flipped the script. Miami's now sitting in a spot where the stars are aligning for a bounce back. But it's not just rest days that are helping them, it's the timing of their bye week 2. They've got one of the latest possible bye weeks in Week 12, and while some fans worry about playing 11 straight games before a break, I actually think it works in their favor. Here's why. The 3-game stretch leading into that bye is brutal. Ravens, Bills, Commanders, all playoff caliber teams. But if things go sideways and they lose all 3, that bye week gives them a breather, a reset button. They come out on the other side with a very manageable schedule that starts with the Saints at home. Get right, refocus, and make that playoff push with fresh legs and renewed energy. In fact, late buys are statistically linked to a higher playoff probability, 58% for late buy teams compared to 55% for mid-season buys. Looking ahead to the start of the season, Miami couldn't ask for a better chance to build momentum. First 8 games, there's a path to start 6-2. You've got matchups like the Colts in Week 1, Patriots in Week 2 at home, and the scorching 1 p.m. Heat, both very winnable. Then a likely loss at Buffalo, but it's followed by a home showdown with the Jets where Miami will be on extended rest. Carolina, the Chargers, Falcons, those are toss-ups but winnable. Cleveland in late October, still warm enough to avoid weather issues. That stretch is absolutely critical. If this team starts hot, even finishing the last 9 games at 4-5 would land them at 10-7 and likely secure a playoff berth. And here's where it really all comes together. If Tua stays healthy, if Tyreek Hill, Zach Sealer, and the key guys hold up, this team can absolutely get to the postseason. You're talking about an explosive offense, a reinforced defensive line, and finally, a schedule that doesn't feel like an uphill battle every week. That's a massive shift from 2024. But here's the real question I want to leave you with as we wrap up this first part. Do you trust this Dolphins team, with everything now in their favor, rest, schedule, structure, to make the most of it? Or will the ghosts of last season come back to haunt them again? Because here's the thing, This isn't just about luck or favorable scheduling anymore. This is a make or break year for this core group, and no matter how much the NFL might have tried to bless the Dolphins with net rest days and strategic placement of their bye, none of it will matter if the team doesn't deliver on the field. This brings us back to the head of the snake, the front office. Chris Grier is still here, somehow. And while McDaniel has shown innovation and energy, the foundation Grier has built continues to walk a dangerous tightrope between potential and collapse. We've seen it year after year. A few injuries, a couple of bad games, and everything falls apart. Take the last 9 games on the schedule. Brutal. Those last 4? A complete toss-up. Games that could swing either way depending on momentum, health, and locker room energy. We're looking at potential matchups that could include playoff-bound teams or hungry spoilers fighting to stay relevant. And if Miami doesn't enter that stretch with at least 6 wins under their belt, things could go south quickly. That's why starting strong isn't a suggestion this year, it's a requirement. You can't head into the back half of the season needing to win 6 or 7 just to sneak into the wild card. This team must front-load wins and carry that cushion. And here's where Grier's inability to build depth will be tested. If Tua misses time again, if Tyreek tweaks something, or if Zach Sealer's presence up front weakens without a reliable rotation, it could all unravel. Especially when you look at those disadvantaged games, Week 5 against Carolina and Week 16 against Cincinnati, those aren't pushovers. Especially not late in the season when wear and tear starts to show and Miami will be coming off shorter rest. Carolina might seem easy on paper, but we've seen this before. The trap game, the letdown loss. It's happened far too often under this regime. Week 16, though, is the real red flag. Coming off a road trip to Pittsburgh, Miami will have to turn around on shorter rest and face Joe Burrow and the Bengals. That game has potential playoff implications all over it, and if they aren't careful, it could be the one that knocks them out. You want to be the team that doesn't have to win in Week 17 just to get in. You want to be in control, not praying for other teams to lose. That's why this rest differential has to be used wisely. It's not just about resting, it's about strategic planning. How does McDaniel manage reps during those mini-buys? How does he maximize game planning in those extra prep windows against the Jets, Bills, and Saints? If he doesn't leverage these advantages, then all of this is just noise. And make no mistake, Dolphins fans are watching closely. This is a fan base that bleeds for this team. That's stuck through mediocrity, mismanagement, and moment after moment of disappointment. They're not going to celebrate a 9-8 season. They want progress. They want January wins. They want to feel like they're building towards something real, not just surviving another Grier experiment. But you know what? The window is there. It's not wide open, but it's cracked. And if the Dolphins are smart, if they stay healthy, avoid the same old pitfalls, and make the most out of these edges, they can finish 10-7. They can be a playoff team. Maybe not a Super Bowl favorite yet, but a dangerous wild card with the kind of offense that nobody wants to see in January. So that's where we are right now. The tools are in place. The calendar is on their side. Now it's up to the Dolphins to not waste it. If you've made it this far, drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button if you're ready to ride with the Dolphins all the way through the 2025 season. I'll be here week in and week out, breaking it all down with you. And don't forget, check out the other videos on the screen right now for deeper dives into the roster moves, player spotlights, and how Miami can dominate this schedule. Go Dolphins!